Well, everyone, iOS 17.5 is probably going to be coming around in a beta very soon. So I kind of want to go and explain some of the key features and changes we could probably be seeing within this version of software. And I generally do think this is going to be a pretty big version of software, but it's not really going to be that big of an update. It's not going to be as big of an update, I don't say, as compared to iOS 17.4. Now, I do think 17.5 isn't really going to be bringing any insane features, mostly because I think 17.5 at the earliest is probably going to come around, in April. So we still have a bit of time before this particular version of software actually comes around. And that's why I look at this particular software version, and I'm just kind of saying that if I were to go ahead and kind of, as a blanket statement, kind of say, hey, these particular devices are going to be getting these versions of software and features and everything, most likely Apple is focusing on iOS 18. I have a hard time believing that Apple is no longer focusing on iOS 18 right now, and they're going to be giving us a lot of different updates and features within iOS 17. I really don't think that's going to be the case. I think most probably on the average statement, most probably you're going to be looking at a device like all the iPhones that are currently supported on iOS 17 are probably also going to be getting iOS 18 as well. So because of that, I really don't think Apple's going to go through and unsupport. So because of that, I don't think Apple's going to go ahead and focus in and create some really big changes and features within iOS 17.5 right now. Once again, I think Apple's going to refine things, and they're going to bring all their refinements and big improvements to iOS 18. The big thing though is that within iOS 17.5, there were already a couple of changes and improvements and differences that Apple basically made within iOS 17.4 that they're probably going to go ahead and refine within 17.5. So this particular thing, for the most part, as far as we know, is probably going to be the improvements to the third-party app store. I think as far as we know, this was probably one big thing that Apple is kind of doing. And for the most part, I would probably say and argue that if I were to go ahead and basically recommend a particular thing for Apple to do, is to go ahead and refine those particular improvements Apple made in the in the last update. I think within iOS 17.5, once again, this is probably going to be a bug fix improvement update. And I do think they're going to focus in on that third-party app store improvements, because this is going to be one area Apple's going to have to focus in like crazy, because if they don't, they're going to be sued like crazy by the EU. And I don't think Apple wants to go through that again and again and again with them. And I do think at some point they just want to mend bridges with them. And because of that, I think they want to really fix everything like that on iOS 17 before they get into iOS 18. I think once they get into iOS 18, then they can probably start seeing some other things and probably start focusing on other things and other areas of improvements. But I do think for the most part, Apple's going to focus in on iOS 17, and we're basically going to go in from there. So 17.5 is probably going to be coming around in a month, and I guess we're going to see what happens when it actually comes out. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.